Okay, welcome back to another video. We're here again up at this slopey lawn here. Last time we were here we put on an application of INHIBIT after we'd scarified it and started to remove some moss. I think today we're going to give it another bash with the scarifier just to keep that ball rolling in that regard, try and get this lawn as moss free as possible before we start with the proper renovations in late March. So let's have a look up close and let's take it from there. Okay, so we just have a look up close. We can see last time we put some INHIBIT and some Galactic on. If we just have a look up close, it is blackening off, but it is starting to regenerate. So I think it's best today we get the scarifier out, give it a couple of passes, and then we'll go on, I think, with another application of iron, just to carry on the good work. And then we'll slowly work our way through that moss. Maybe put an application of Rise and Shine on as well, because if we can get that grass growing, that's going to stop the moss from growing, because it's in competition when the grass is growing and the grass will always win that one. So let's get the scarifier out, give it a couple of passes, and let's see how it looks. Okay, so that went really well. Those new blades really working well for us. Smells absolutely delicious as well. All that moss and iron and all the weeds that we're chopping up and all the soil, just giving off this really amazing smell of spring. So I'm looking forward to that actually appearing. So what we'll do now is we'll get this raked up and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, so that went as good as it could do, raked up nice and easy. It's not overly wet, so it's still quite light to pick up. Obviously when it gets too wet as well, you know, it's so heavy, you can only put a little bit in the bin and it's not really conducive to do it like that. But we can get on here because we passed the 2 rules from last time again, so that's fine. I appreciate if you can't get on it, you can't get on it, but let's have a closer look anyway. Well, we can see now that we're slowly getting through that moss, and we're almost not free of it. We'll never be free of it, but we're really making progress. We can see the soil. So what we know is that when we come to seed, we're going to get the seed right on top of there, and it's not going to sit on the moss, because generally seed doesn't really grow on moss. So if we can create a bit of soil for it to stick to, that's even better. So what we'll do now is we'll go on with the mower, I think, today, just to pick up everything that I've not been able to with the rake, and give us some guideline stripes, and then we can get on with some fertiliser application, etc. So let's go get the mower out and join you back here in a sec. Okay, just before I start mowing, I just wanted to show you the results from the product application yesterday in the back garden. So I just wanted to show you the day after the application of Rise and Shine, although that won't have kicked in yet at all, but the Galactic mixed with the INHIBIT certainly has, and it's given us a lovely green colour so far. And we've got some good moss control going on down this end. So all in all, a great result so far. Can really see a difference from yesterday. I'll just show you a picture now to today. Looking a lot better, and it smells irony as well. So you can really smell that moss beginning to degrade. I could smell it as soon as I walked around the side there, and it just lets me know that spring is on its way. Alright, so I did that on number 2 on the hater. It's come up lovely. Now the only problem is, it's not so much an issue today because we're not seeding, but when we do come to seed, it is annoying because I do such a good job of loosening up the soil to get the nice lines for the seed to fall in, but then when you mow, it squashes them all back together, so you end up like that, almost back to normal, and a bit of a flat pan. And when that dries out, it dries solid. So what I would love is a machine that had wheel drive rather than blade drive, and the wheels drove a blade that was stationary, and then that could create grooves and wouldn't bring up any rubbish or anything like that. That'd be my ideal machine. It probably does exist in a on the back of a tractor kind of thing, that kind of machinery, but as like a pedestrian machine in the domestic market, I'm not sure it exists, but that would be my dream machine if I could design one. So what we'll do now is we'll go and set up our fertiliser and everything, and then we'll have a chat about that. Alright, so we're just going to go on with our rise and shine now. I always put the granular fertiliser on first before I spray, because I don't wet the leaf then, and then the fertiliser doesn't stick to the leaf and dry on it, because it's not going to get washed and it will just end up staying on there, and then when we cut it next time we'll take that off. So what is it? It's an 1155 NPK with 8% iron. Now the 11% nitrogen is all ammonia, so when that breaks down and goes into the root, it can be taken up straight away, because it's not urea. Urea has to be broken down by bacteria in order for the roots to take it up. Ammonia can just be taken up straight away. So that's a good form for this time of year, because it gets the grass growing, because the bacteria is very dormant at the minute because of the weather and the frost and whatever. So we haven't got the time to wait for that urea to break down. So we give it a good hit with ammonia, it can take it up straight away. So I'm just going to go on at 32 on the dial. Just going to try it, see what happens. Nothing is going to come of it, it's not going to kill it or anything like that, but we can just see what results we get. Yesterday in the back we went on at 29, so we'll put it up to 32 and see what we get. I've got a full bag in there, so I don't think I'm going to run out, and then we'll see how it looks in a few weeks. So let's get cracking. Got doubled stripes, and what I find is I can manipulate the wheel speed just to throw the fertiliser out perfect on the two sets of double lines without much overlap. Bit trickier now when we come to this border, because we've got to stop, but we just let the handle go a bit before we actually get to the end, because there's enough that's being in the broadcasters to throw out once the shutter's shut. And then we just open it again here. Obviously if this was a drive, you'd want to like sweep this off, because it's all going in these stones, it doesn't really matter too much about staining, because nobody's going to see it. And then when you get to this bottom bit, just don't open the chute as much, but the slower, because you're going slower, you're getting the same amount of fertiliser coming out, just because we don't want it going all over the road and on the curb. But we'll deal with that in a sec, just to get any rogue fertiliser that's gone on the curbs. And there you go, that's it, job done. Right, so we're just ready to go on with our spray. What I have in my tank, I've pre-mixed some Galactic Green. I've got 400 mils in there, because we've got 100 square metres if you remember from previous videos, and that goes on at 400 mils per 100 square metres. And I've also mixed up 200 grams of the INHIBIT soluble iron and mix that up, so we've got a mixture of the two, and that's really going to give us a good hit along with the iron in the rise and shine. So we're going to spray that on now, and then hopefully this will be the last iron application of this year on this lawn before we start with the renovations. So let's get this sprayed on, and then we can tidy up and go home. Try and walk at the same rate, and then you know you're getting a pretty accurate application. I know how fast I walk, it's just years of doing it, I just walk at a certain speed. And I kind of listen to my tank splishing around, and that tells me how much I've got left in it. And again, it's just a feel on my back. I know when I'm about to run out. It's hard work walking on a slope when you're spraying, just because your feet want to do one thing and your body wants to do another. The weed killer put on a few weeks ago really worked. It's really started to go back to being a weed-free lawn this now. So we're well on track for being able to seed at the end of March. There we go, it's easy as that. Alright, so that's iron is on now. All that's left to do is blow the curb of all that iron. Now, why have we done what we've done in terms of going over the last few weeks, Scarify now? Why don't you just wait till March? Because we've got to work our way through all these layers. I can't just turn up in one day and get it all done, seeded, top dressed, etc., watered. I don't want to be in a position where I'm starting in April and then getting to June before the moss is all gone and a drought starts and we can't get any water on, because this lawn is going to be reliant on rainwater only. It's not going to get any auxiliary water in, so that's why we do that. So hope you've enjoyed this one today. It's only a short one, but I just wanted to continue the work here, so if you're going along with me, you can carry on with the job yourself. But I know if it's too wet and you can't, just keep praying for drier weathers and hopefully you can start soon. But you can just watch the videos as well and then just backtrack and catch up eventually. So if you've liked what you've seen today, hit that subscribe button and the like button, either one if you want, doesn't matter which, just do it, because that would really help me out. It gives me an idea of what you guys want in future videos. So take care and we'll see you soon.